Part 5: A Kingdom of Eternal Halloween. As Cinderella was whisked away to the palace, leaving behind her stepmother and stepsisters in stunned disbelief, the world around her seemed to blur with the surrealism of her newfound reality. She had gone from being a servant in a modest cottage to becoming the future princess of the kingdom, all in a matter of days. The palace was a grand spectacle of opulence and luxury. Its halls were adorned with exquisite Halloween-themed decorations, and every corner of the palace felt like a dream. Cinderella was taken to a sumptuously furnished chamber where she would reside during her time at the palace. The princess-to-be was overwhelmed by the kindness of the palace staff and the generosity of the prince. Her fairy godmother, who had played a crucial role in her transformation, had shared the news of her discovery with the prince, and he had welcomed Cinderella with open arms. However, even in the midst of her newfound happiness, Cinderella couldn't help but think of her stepfamily. She had forgiven them for their past cruelty, and the thought of their reaction to her new life weighed on her heart. Cinderella was determined to help them find happiness, just as she had found hers. She knew that the spirit of Halloween had the power to transform not only pumpkins into carriages and rags into elegant gowns, but also hearts and souls. As the days passed, Cinderella settled into palace life, learning about her duties and responsibilities as the future princess. She met with the royal advisors, learned about the governance of the kingdom, and prepared for her grand wedding. The prince was enamored with Cinderella, and their love blossomed as they spent time together. He shared stories of his own adventures and dreams, and Cinderella found in him a kindred spirit who cherished the magic of Halloween. As the time for their wedding drew near, the entire kingdom buzzed with anticipation. It was to be a Halloween-themed celebration, a day when the enchantment of the grand Halloween ball would be relived in grandeur. However, Cinderella had not forgotten her stepmother and stepsisters. She knew that the magic of Halloween could transform even the coldest of hearts, and she devised a plan to invite her stepfamily to the palace, where they would see the world of enchantment for themselves. She wrote a heartfelt letter to her stepmother, expressing her desire to reunite and share the joys of the kingdom. She sent an invitation, much like the one she had received for the grand Halloween ball, and hoped that it would be enough to convince her stepfamily to visit. The letter and invitation arrived at the cottage, and Cinderella's stepmother was torn. She had mixed feelings about her stepdaughter's newfound fortune. She longed to be a part of it but also couldn't bear the thought of facing Cinderella after her years of cruelty. Cinderella's stepsisters, on the other hand, were excited by the prospect of visiting the palace. They envisioned themselves in the same grandeur as their stepsister and eagerly accepted the invitation. As they arrived at the palace, the stepmother and stepsisters were in awe of the opulence that surrounded them. The palace was transformed once again into a Halloween wonderland, with grand decorations, magnificent costumes, and an air of enchantment. The stepmother and stepsisters were introduced to Cinderella, who greeted them with grace and kindness. She had forgiven them for the past and hoped that they could find happiness in the magic of Halloween. The palace staff had prepared costumes for the stepmother and stepsisters, and they were dressed as enchanting characters from fairy tales. The stepfamily joined in the festivities of the Halloween-themed wedding, and for a moment, it seemed as if the past could be forgotten. As the evening progressed, Cinderella danced with her stepmother and stepsisters, and the three of them laughed and celebrated together. The power of Halloween had softened their hearts, and they were filled with a newfound sense of joy. The grand wedding ceremony took place in the palace courtyard, under a moonlit sky. The prince and Cinderella exchanged vows, and the kingdom celebrated their union with a grand display of fireworks, music, and dancing. The night was filled with enchantment, and as the clock struck midnight, a shower of golden sparks filled the sky. The kingdom lit up with the magic of Halloween, and it was a sight that no one would ever forget. As the celebrations continued, Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters, touched by the magic of the evening, approached her with tearful eyes. They apologized for their past cruelty and expressed their happiness for her. Cinderella forgave them with an open heart, and the three of them embraced, knowing that the power of Halloween had the ability to mend even the most broken of relationships. The wedding festivities continued long into the night, and as the kingdom rejoiced, it was clear that the spirit of Halloween had transformed not only Cinderella's life, but also the lives of those around her. In the days that followed, Cinderella and the prince ruled the kingdom with wisdom and kindness. They ensured that the spirit of Halloween was celebrated throughout the year, and the Grand Halloween Ball became an annual tradition that brought the kingdom together in joy and enchantment. Cinderella's journey on Halloween led her from a life of servitude to one of royalty, but it also taught her the power of forgiveness and the importance of cherishing the magic of Halloween. The kingdom became a place where every day was a celebration of enchantment and a reminder that dreams could come true. The story of Cinderella's journey of Halloween became a legend in the kingdom, a tale of transformation and the enduring magic of the holiday. It was a story that reminded all who heard it that, in a world filled with enchantment, anything was possible, and the power of love and forgiveness could overcome even the most daunting of challenges.
Please subscribe for going forward, and your subscription is my inspiration. If you are not a kid, please don't dislike.